The things that I'm going to talk about today are all things that buyers would not say to your face. These are all things that I hear or that I notice, but these are not things that buyers will tell to your face. So the problem is that you don't hear these things because people feel some of these things are kind of rude to say. So if you're looking for feedback and you're expecting to hear these things, you're not going to. You just need to know that this is what they're thinking. So let's get into it. So number one, this is probably the biggest one I'm going to start with, is that your home has a smell to it. Every home has a smell to it. And you are going to be very, very accustomed to that smell. But when you have buyers who are walking into the home for the first time and they do not know what that is, they're going to start asking. So this is especially if you have pets. Most homes, almost all homes that have pets will have some type of an odor. And I'm going to say, I have two pets. I have a cat and I have a dog. And of course my house doesn't smell, but probably there is some type of an odor when you do walk in. It's just unfamiliar. So you need to make sure that if you have pets that you're cleaning up after them all of the time. So that means if you have litter boxes, you have got to make sure you're cleaning those at least once a day, if not more. You cannot leave anything in the litter box. I am telling you, like, I have been in houses where sellers have not cleaned out the litter box for days, and it is very disgusting, very disgusting. And then the buyers are like, you know what, get us out of here. The other thing is that if you have animals that have gone to the bathroom on the rugs, most likely that is going to smell. So you're going to need to replace those carpets. Sometimes even cleaning them will not work. So you have to keep that in mind. Now, if you are cooking with heavy spices, things like that, there are a lot of times that the cooking can leave a smell in the house. So if you are doing very, very heavy cooking, I would definitely refrain from having that right before you're going to have a showing. Even if you do it the night before, sometimes it can still be really, really strong. So these are things that you may not think are a big deal, but I'm telling you, the smell is probably the number one thing that you need to watch out for, because buyers definitely notice that, and then that is how they will refer to your home when they leave. Your decor is distracting. And yes, this is absolutely true. And I've used this example many, many times, is that if you have something like a collection or something that is unique to you, what ends up happening is people are fascinated by that. So for example, if you have a doll collection or you have a spoon collection, anything like that, buyers really are kind of interested in. And then that is what they walk in and that's what they look at. And they'll say, wow, look at this. And it's taking away from the way they feel about the home. Because when you have buyers walk into the home, they need to feel like they're walking into a hotel room. It's clean like that, it doesn't smell, and there's no type of decor to distract them. So bright colors or very unique personality in decorating is definitely going to get you in trouble. I'm going to show you this house that is really, truly unbelievable. And I think that you need to just look at this, and you need to look at the statues, and you need to look at the animals that are in here and how this takes away from the house. So I want you to think about, what would this house look like if it did not have all of this specialized decorating? It'd be more neutral. But the problem is buyers are going to move quick. They're going to see it and they're going to be like, wow, there's just too much for me to see in here. I'm leaving. And buyers do that. If they walk in and they're like, it's just too much, they will absolutely leave. So for all of you who don't understand that you need to make sure everything in your home is neutral, what am I going to tell you? You're going to download my seller's playbook, which has all of those colors in there. It's going to tell you how to stage. It's going to tell you what to update. But that seller's playbook is the first thing that you need to do when you're thinking about selling your home. So I want to make sure that you do download that, because this is going to be the guide for selling your home for more money, stress-free. Clutter screams small. Yes, it's true. Now, of course, you know this, but this is like when you walk into a mud room or an entryway and there's a lot of stuff in there. You need to have it be very open, because if it's very cluttered, it's going to come in really, really tight on people. And this is something especially I talk about, like if you don't have a front hall closet or a back hall closet or a mud room where you're hanging your coats or your boots or something like that, then you need to make sure that it is empty when you go to show your home. And that's because people are going to see that you have a lot of clutter. It's making it feel smaller. And so that is how you live. So you need to kind of fake it. Remember, fake it, take it, make it. Fake the way the house looks, take great pictures, and then you're going to make the money. So what you're going to do is you're going to declutter and you're going to remove things. And I want you to think about this, is if you are really moving, you're getting rid of things, I want you to look at that couch in the corner that you absolutely hate, that you are not taking with you to your new place, and I want you to get rid of it. I absolutely want you to get rid of it. I want you to sell it, maybe if you can, or give it away. Put it on Facebook Marketplace, do something with it. Get rid of it, because the less you have in your home, the better. Now, I will tell you, I have had people who over declutter and then they've gotten rid of everything. I mean, you don't want it to look like an empty house. You want it to look comfortable and cozy. So take away probably like 30 to 40% of what you have in the house, get rid of the furniture that you're not going to move with you, and just make it sparse and make it neutral. But get rid of that clutter. When I am working with buyers, one of the first things I ask them when they're looking for a new house is, are you willing to do work? And many times they'll say, yeah, we're willing to do some work. Now, some work for you and some work for me might be different than what these buyers are saying, because most likely the buyers who are coming in are going to be younger and they're busy. They have little kids. They don't have a lot of time to do work. So when they say do work, they do not really want to undertake gigantic projects. So people will come in and they'll look around, they'll say, there's just too much work here. And then I'll go and I'll tell my sellers, and the sellers just don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't know why somebody's saying there's too much work, because they've been living in the house the way that they want to live in it. But in reality, the buyers want their dream home. So I had a house for sale that the sellers thought was perfect. They really thought they'd done a lot of work over time, and they did work that they thought was good for themselves. And they're in their 70s. And so they just did work over time for them. But the problem was the buyers who were coming in thought it needed too much work. So then when I went to the sellers and I said, the buyers think there's too much work, they would say, well, what kind of work do they need to do? And I'll say, well, they need to paint. They feel like they want to replace the rugs. The windows are not great for them. They don't love them. And the kitchen, they want to redo. And so they were like, the kitchen is great. Like, why would we want to redo this kitchen? Why would anybody want to redo the kitchen? And I said, well, the kitchen is about 13 years old. Now to them, that seems new. So when I'm trying to translate between the buyers and the sellers, right, trying to tell the sellers that their home needs a lot of work is very difficult when they think it really doesn't. So the problem is that's when you get into this issue where the sellers are not working with the price, they're not understanding. And so these little projects all add up over time. And sometimes a small project, something that's not that big, can make a huge impact. These people needed a new front door. Now, that's not a huge project, but when you take the new front door and then you take the painting and then you take, refreshing the kitchen and then you take, redoing one of the bathrooms upstairs, that all adds up. You're talking $50,000, $100,000 just to get it in a place that they would like. So really, it's important that you understand how many projects do you really have, and you need to be objective. You need to listen to your agent when they're saying, you have a lot of work here to do. The buyers are saying that. Definitely listen to your agent. So I had a seller the other day. I'd given her feedback from the buyers, and the buyers said the house is too small. Okay, so what does that mean? She asked. And I said, well, that means your price is too high. So the reason the buyers are saying that is because the house is too small for what they're seeing in that budget range. And so a buyer sets the market, but the buyers also know the market extremely well. And so buyers know if you've overpriced your home. Like, they're fully aware that you've overpriced your home. They are not coming into homes to see that are too overpriced, and they are walking away from a home that is overpriced. It's all well and good for you to be able to sit there and say, well, they should pay me what I want for the house. But you have to remember, your house is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. And if the home is not worth it to them, they will not pay for it. I know this is redundant. I know I talk about this all of the time, but this is the biggest issue that I see, is sellers not understanding that the buyers are not paying you what the house you think is worth. They're paying you what they think the house is worth. As you know, we help people sell their homes for more money, stress-free. And in doing that, we also provide a free service to you, which is helping you find a real estate agent. Now, we have resources all over the country. We have referred thousands of sellers to their agents, and we will find you 2 or 3 agents who's focused specifically in your town. So we want to make sure that you reach out to us if you are confused about who to hire to help you sell your home. We look at listing photos. We look at social media. We talk to these agents. We know who is responsive and who is not. This is a great starting point for you if you're feeling unsure or you're feeling scared or you don't know where to go. we've got you. We'll help you, I promise. You can reach us a couple different ways. You can go to our webpage, you can text us, or you can scan the QR code. So we're here for you. Let us help you find an agent to sell your home for more money, stress-free. So when buyers come in, they are judging how you've maintained your home. Yeah, I'll tell you. So if it's dirty, if you have a lot of broken things in the house, they are judging you. I hate to say it. That's why your home needs to look like a hotel, because it needs to be neutral. You need to take out everything personalized. And they are in there saying, oh my gosh, look at how dirty this is. This place is disgusting. Like literally buyers are saying that. So they are seeing if you've replaced light bulbs, and they're seeing if your doorbell is broken. Remember I talk about that. How if your doorbell is broken and the buyers walk up to the front door and they see that is the very first thing that you have not fixed and it's broken and it's what, $20 to fix? What else in the house is actually broken? These buyers, they're harsh. They are really, really harsh. And I hate to say it, I usually, when I'm showing a home, think that there are cameras inside the house taping. So I am usually trying to take a conversation down a little bit. And by the way, if you do have cameras, you are supposed to disclose it. You really cannot shoot people without them knowing. So buyers can be pretty harsh, and it's up to the agents to kind of make it a little softer. But if you've got a lot of dirt, you've got a lot of broken things, they are going to be judging you. I hate to say it. I am so sorry. So the best thing you can do is, if you're feeling like you're afraid to have people in there, is start cleaning. Because a house that is clean with no broken items, people walk in and they're like, this house, I know it's dated, but it is so clean. It is in immaculate condition, and they can tell that. So it's all about cleaning. Make sure you're doing it every week. Don't just think about doing it the day before you go on the market with a deep clean. It needs to be done ongoing. So here's one that I hate, and sellers, I think, usually understand this, but maybe not the level that I'm going to tell you, is that buyers hate when the sellers are home. Hate it. They also don't like when the listing agent is there, but that's a different thing. Like that is a little bit different. When the sellers are home, the buyers are very uncomfortable, and you are not making them feel like, they are in a hotel room. So let's say someone goes into a hotel room and you have somebody in the room. You're going to feel very, very uncomfortable. So buyers do not like to have the sellers at the house at all. It's not a good thing. It is also a really, really bad thing for the buyer and the seller to meet before closing. It is just not a good idea. Like, there are a few situations that you might do it, but honestly, no way at all. Like, it is a bad idea when sellers and buyers meet. If you are thinking you're just going to stick around or wait until they get there and then you're going to open the door and you're going to let them in, it will make them very, very uncomfortable. So buyers notice every little imperfection. This kind of goes into the other one where they're judging, but this is more like, they might see some chipping paint, and then in their mind, they're thinking, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to update this. I'm going to have to fix this. I'm going to have to paint this. And so they're taking this and doing a mental calculator of how much work really does need to be done. They're looking at all the imperfections. They're looking at how the light fixtures aren't quite right at the right height. So I know this is kind of hard for you to understand, and this is the example that I like you to use, is I want you to go out to your driveway. I want you and your spouse to go out to the driveway, and I want you to stand there, and I want you to pretend that you literally just drove up to the house. You drove up to the house, you get out, you pretend you're a buyer. I want you to start looking objectively at your home. I want you to look at the landscaping. I want you to look at the trees. I want you to look at the outside of the house, the siding, the gutters, the roof. I want you to look all of that as a buyer would look at it. Now I want you to walk slowly towards the house, looking at everything, and then I want you to walk in the house, and you're going to go room to room like you are a buyer. And I promise, once you do this, you are going to see the imperfections that the buyers will see as well. This is a really good exercise for you to understand. Now, it can also be a little depressing because you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much work to do here. Usually this is about cleaning up and tidying up, or fixing things to make them straight and narrow. That's really kind of the most important thing. So I cannot tell you how significant it is for you to walk through your house just the way a buyer will, and then you won't be surprised by what they say. So here's the last one. Buyers can tell within about 15 seconds or so that that's the house. I know it seems crazy because you want your agent there so they can open up the cabinets and they can show you, the rolling cabinets, or they can show you some fancy things with, the TVs or the back or the landscaping that you've done or the bathroom that you upgraded. Like that's what you're waiting for. But by that point, usually the buyers have decided like this is a fit or it's not a fit. And it's because of all of these things that I just told you about. Remember, buying a home is very emotional and you have to appeal to the emotion of that buyer. And that buyer may not be able to say exactly what's wrong with the house, but they know there's something that doesn't feel right. And so you may be trying to come up with like reasons that their objections are not good objections, like the house needs work. It doesn't need work. I just redid the kitchen 12 years ago, right? Or I just painted these bedrooms 5 years ago. Those are the types of things that you can't argue with a buyer about because it is emotional. And when they walk into the house, it just feels right to them or it doesn't feel right to them. So usually buyers know within 15 seconds. And I will tell you as well is that many buyers can know within 20 minutes, like that's the house and they don't need to come back. So it may seem like it's a short showing at 15 or 20 minutes, but many people don't need much longer than that to figure out that this is their home. So this video might be a little bit repetitive where I've talked about some of this before, but these are literally the things that buyers are telling me as their agent that they will not tell sellers if they were standing there face to face. Like this can be very, very painful. So they would not do it. They would not tell you that your home smells or that it is cluttered or that it's dirty. They're just not going to tell you. So you just need to know this on your own. You're not going to get that feedback. So I have a lot of resources for you, a lot of free resources. I want to make sure you download my seller's playbook and join my Facebook group, which is going strong. People just like you to figure out how to sell your home for more money, stress-free. And don't forget, if you need an agent, if you're feeling lost, we walk you through the whole process. I promise it is a great opportunity for you to talk to agents who are experienced in your area. So reach out to us. We're here for you. Thanks for watching.